In the year 2007, Apple did something that would forever change the tech landscape. They launched the original iPhone, a sleek and revolutionary device that wasn't just about making calls. It was about shaping the future of mobile technology. While some competitors and pioneers of the industry buckled under Apple's pressure, Samsung held its ground, refusing to flinch, standing tall in the heat of the battle. And today, that battle between these two tech titans rages on. In this corner, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, a beast of a phone packed with cutting-edge tech and AI-driven smarts. In the other, Apple's iPhone 16 Pro Max, the latest in a lineage of devices that refined the smartphone era. Both are flagships, both are powerhouses, but which one should you really be upgrading to? Well, you are in the right place to find out, because today we are going to pit these two against each other in a giant head-to-head match where we're going to take a look at performance, features, AI integration, the whole 9 yards. We're going to cover all of it. So buckle up, because this is going to be an epic showdown. When Samsung dropped the S24 series, they didn't just introduce a phone, they brought us Galaxy AI. And using Galaxy AI so far has proven to truly take my user experience to the next level. Now, AI integration isn't just Samsung's game. Apple's iPhone 16 series hit the stage with its own AI-first approach, in this case dubbed Apple Intelligence. And it's boasted to be the first iPhone series to be built from the ground up with artificial intelligence in mind. I do have to add, however, that as of the shooting of this video, Apple Intelligence is still not available. Now, Apple did go big with the iPhone 16 Pro Max, and I do mean that literally. We're looking at a larger display with super thin bezels, giving it a screen-to-body ratio that even tops the S24 Ultras. And oh, they did throw in some new tricks. That new camera button, and also that 4K at 120 FPS recording. That's not too shabby. This thing might just be a mobile videographer's dream. Jumping back to the S24 Ultra here, if there was ever a perfect phone, this one here would be it. Now, there is no such thing, however, because the whole thing can be subjective, at least to a certain extent. But in my humble opinion, this is as close as you get to that level. This is as close as you get to perfect. I'm talking top tier build quality, premium material, that anti-glare display. It's a dream to look at, and that's both indoors and out. Samsung absolutely nailed it. You would think that I would have a list of complaints, but honestly, not a single thing I would change about this phone. But here's the thing. These phones feel different in hands. The iPhone's more rounded, softer edges make it easier to hold for some people, especially for those long TikTok scrolling sessions. Meanwhile, the S24 Ultra is, well, a bit of a tank. Its squared-off design may not seem as hand-friendly as the iPhone, but many people, myself included, really dig that industrial look. And by the way, if this is your first time visiting, welcome to the channel, of course. I do appreciate you being here. Please do me a favor, hit both the like and the subscribe button there. Again, I truly appreciate that. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to displays. And let me say this first. Both displays are just out of this world. They are both amazing. That said, the S24 Ultra's display is just on another level. Not only is it pushing a whopping 2600 nits of brightness, which is already ridiculous, but it also tops it off with an anti-glare coating, making for a better user experience under direct sunlight when compared to that of the iPhone. The 16 Pro Max here, which by the way cranks up its brightness at up to 2000 nits, is also very bright. In fact, there are times it may seem brighter than the S24's 2600 nits, but that's simply because it does not have the anti-glare coating found on the S24 Ultra. By the way, the S24 Ultra here is boasting Gorilla Glass armor, which is 4 times more scratch resistant and 3 times more drop resistant. The iPhone 16 Pro Max is loaded with a ceramic shield glass. Next here, we'll see that this iPhone brings back the action button. It's that catch-all programmable switch that does everything from launching your camera to running custom scripts. Personally, I haven't used it as much as I should, but if you dive into shortcuts, you can get this thing to control your smart home, launch apps, you name it. And by the way, it's not just on the iPhone. There's also something similar on the S24 Ultra that does almost the same stuff with the side button. You should be able to program that also. This year, Apple's added what they call camera control. It's a button that quick launches the camera app, and depending on how you press it, you can, jump immediately into video. You can swipe left or right on the button to make real-time adjustments. And you can also unlock photo tools, depth, styles, tone, and all of that good stuff. On the S24 Ultra, you can assign the camera app to be opened by the side button and use one of the buttons as a shutter, but it is not as customizable as the camera control on the 16 Pro Max. You would just use the touchscreen to access everything else. Now let's go ahead and talk something unique to the S24 Ultra, and that is, of course, the S Pen. It's still here, still one of the defining features of the Ultra series. Circle to search feels sharper, handwritten notes, hey, seamlessly converted to text, and also doubles as a camera remote, or camera shutter, however you want to use it, which frankly never gets old. Some people consider it to be a gimmick, but it has its practical uses. It's also meant to take your productivity to another level. In fact, I'm thinking that's its main function. You can do a number of things with it to elevate your productivity level. Unfortunately, this is an accessory that is not available on the iPhone. Now, at this point, you're probably thinking, so are you gonna tell me which one is more powerful? Well, it's a little bit more complicated than that. If you're looking for an answer that's written on a piece of paper for raw power, then the iPhone would be the one that's more powerful. However, real-life usage is completely different. Things don't translate as well as you would think. So both the S24 Ultra and the iPhone 16 Pro Max are absolute monsters when it comes to performance. Whether you are shooting in video portrait mode on the Samsung or using cinematic mode on the iPhone, both handle content creation like a champ. But again, when it comes down to productivity, depending on the type of tasks that you are completing, the S24 Ultra will allow you to be more productive in some things versus other things where the iPhone will allow for you to be a bit more productive. As far as user interface goes, if you've been using Samsung for a while, you know that this isn't just Android. It is Samsung's take on Android, and it's flat out more customizable than iOS found on the iPhone. From split screen, multitasking, the edge panels for your favorite apps, you can tweak it in so many ways. You can tweak it all. On the iPhone, you will not be able to do all of that. You can't even do basic split screen on the iPhone. Good Lock is something that lets you fine-tune your experience even further on the S24 Ultra. And of course, there is Samsung DeX, which turns your phone into a complete desktop computer. It's pretty cool in theory, although I have yet to find a real use for it in my personal daily life. And let's not forget about notification channels. With Android, or with the S24, you can choose what kind of notifications you want, unlike iOS where it's usually either all or nothing. Here, options are really what makes One UI stand out. iOS is, of course, solid. It's just a very consistent environment. Its beauty hides behind its simplicity, and because it just, works. And sometimes that's all a person needs. Now, gaming on the S24 Ultra, Android's got you covered with just about any game under the sun. Matter of fact, you can even run Xbox Game Pass if you're on a good Wi-Fi connection. The 16 Pro Max though, Apple Arcade exclusive titles and console-level gaming with that backbone controller, whew. If gaming is your thing, iOS might give you the edge with titles you just cannot get anywhere else. And then there is AI, and I know AI has become the new buzzword of the year, but Samsung's take on it is actually pretty practical. Both Apple and Samsung have been pushing AI hard. Samsung's Galaxy AI is packed with features that range from live translation to photo recognition that, identifies, well, everything. It even works its magic during phone calls, translating in real time 13 languages and 17 dialects. Meanwhile, Apple's playing it a bit quieter, especially given that Apple Intelligence did not launch alongside the iPhones themselves. We do know, of course, that Apple tends to deliver in general, and they've been promising that through all of the commercials they've been pushing hard, but it's unfortunate that we don't really get to play with it, although it still is in beta, but still very unfortunate that it's delayed. At the end of the day, it really comes down to what you value more. Apple's tight ecosystem and camera experience, or Samsung's customization, next level AI, and that killer S Pen. Either way, you're getting a phone that's powerful, capable, and ready for whatever you throw at it. And for those of you who just want a direct verdict about the best out of these two, the S24 Ultra is the overall better phone, and it's well on its way to be the phone of the year for the year 2024. At least that's the general consensus in the tech community, along with my personal take, and that's as simple as that. Now, that said, what I would advise is that if you are already in one ecosystem, stick to it, as either one of these will mesh well with the systems that you currently are using or you currently already have. That's just my take. What is your take? Let me know in the comment section. I'd like to get that little back and forth with you. I'm going to catch you in the comment section like I always do. Don't forget, of course, to like, subscribe, as I mentioned earlier. I truly appreciate that. Make sure to share the video if you know anyone who will be interested. Anyways, I will catch you in the next video. Up until that next video, of course, as always, stay safe out there.